Would it be right to treat others with respect even though they have offended you? I think that is a good question. In regard to the offense, I believe you should always take the high road and be the bigger person. It may not be the easy thing to do, but it is the right thing to do. By treating people with respect, it shows you have a moral code of ethics that you live by. Even though that person was disrespectful, you will not stoop down to that level. By stooping down to that level and deciding to be equal makes you an equal type of person. By equal, I mean one who is arrogant and rude enough to not treat people the way they want to be treated. It is not that difficult to be a good human to the people around you. How much will it cost you to treat people with human decency? If someone does you wrong, don't do wrong unto them. Turn the other cheek. Be humble by imitating their behavior. You are spreading more negativity in this world. By you doing the right thing, you will be making a difference in the world. People will pay attention to you for your goodness if you live that way. And some will take advantage of it, but just because they try to take advantage of your goodness doesn't mean you are naive. And I feel people try to change their goodness because they are perceived that way. In Mark 12:31, it states, "Love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. If you love your neighbor, that means you won't steal from them, murder them, cheat on their spouse, lie to them, or plot against them. If you treat your neighbor with human decency, it would be as treating yourself with human decency." As stated in Luke 6:45. Out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. If we are filled with goodness within ourselves, we will speak those words. But if we are filled with arrogance and rudeness, it is because we are filled with these things in our heart. However, sometimes I believe good people try to fit with their social norm and feel peer pressure to do so. The wrong thing because everyone around them is doing it. If it has become socially acceptable to be disrespectful to one person, then everyone will make it their new norm. But that is completely wrong. We as humans aren't called to harm each other. Yet we do it because our hearts are filled with selfishness. If we were to place ourselves in other people's shoes, then we would be empathetic towards the people around us. That is maybe one thing we should strive for as human race, to be more empathetic instead of causing discord against each other or trying to get ahead of each other. Don't let your hearts be filled with greed, because if it does, you will be blinded by it, and you won't care about anyone else besides your own greedy desires. In Timothy 1:6-10 states, "For the love of money is the root of all kinds of evils. What good does it do to you if you are greedy and rich, but miserable within your soul?" The solution to all these problems of being selfish is to learn to give. I think we get focused on spending and receiving, that we are oftentimes do not think how it feels to be the one giving. According to an article from Utah State University, people who give to charity are much happier and a better state of emotional well-being. It is probably that when you give, you get that sensation that you did something good. Another article from BYU shows that small acts of kindness improve mental health. It is probably because when one is kind, one is prone to making more friends and having to deal with less loneliness. Some say, according to the University of Bath, being around children will make you more generous. And I think a lot has to do that it reminds us how it felt to be a child and how it felt to be surprised by a gift. To conclude this, that is why I believe humans should practice what is moral and right, so that we don't have to pay the consequences of our actions. At the end of the day, it is our soul who will end up paying for our transgressions. So it is important to practice goodness to one another, because what you do to one another, you do to yourself. You harm yourself by harming others. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If it's not right, do not do it. If it's not true, do not say it."